Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the weekly Purple Penny coin news video. I hope you've all had a fantastic week and you're all staying safe and healthy, and to all of our colleagues in New South Wales, I hope you're enjoying your extra freedoms today, and hopefully all you folk in Canberra and Victoria will get out and about soon too. It's been a hectic week here in the shop, as it always is when there is a Royal Australian Mint release, which there was last Thursday, and of course doubly hectic because it included that denomination that everyone seems to love, the $2 coin. So yeah, we had very strong sales on every day of the week. Actually, we had the Wiggles coins on Wednesday, the Mint coins on Thursday, and then, you know, with Thursday, Friday and Saturday, people coming in and picking up things that they wanted. So, you know, it was a good week for us. We're very pleased with it. We didn't really purchase anything too interesting in the week, nothing sort of worth sharing today, but it was an enjoyable week in the shop. So let's jump into the news for the week. So October releases run and done, sort of. I guess the Mint is lagging behind still with their shipping schedules, and the only products that we had last week available for shipping or mail or pickup were the Wiggles folders on Wednesdays, which we only had available for pickup, and then the Mungo copper nickel 20-cent piece and the RSPCA box set and individual coins. So they were all available on release day on Thursday. We still don't have the ambulance $2 rolls, the ambulance C Mint marks, the silver Mungo, or the bounding kangaroo half-ounce silver coin. We don't know when they are going to ship. Shipping was supposed to start today, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's delayed another week or two. Those of you who managed to order rolls off of our website on release day will be back in touch with you when that stock is actually available to ship. So let's say hello to a few people. Devlin, Gregory, John, Gary, Rob, Patrick, Paul, Amali, who's my daughter, who's sitting in one of the other rooms here at the moment, Mike, Glennis, Trina, Karen, and Michael. So hello everyone, thanks for joining in today. So the Mint has rejigged their release announcement schedule, and lucky us, we get to announce next month's releases on the same day that they released last month's releases. So last Thursday they announced the releases for November. We really didn't do anything with that until today. We'll announce it today. I just think everyone deserves a bit of a chance to draw a breath, and, you know, given that they haven't even supplied everything from this month's releases yet, you know, I was a bit hesitant to talk about it. But anyway, we'll run through the slide of what next month's releases are once we're done here. Didn't take very long, but a backwards paint Wiggles coin has shown up. Someone's been punting it around on various Facebook groups in the last 24 hours. It's a Captain Feathersword, which is the one that's available in change at the moment from Woolworths. And the paint's on the wrong side. Obviously, nice high grade. Hasn't been in circulation very long, less than a week. So I guess it's just a matter of time with every coloured coin that gets into circulation until one or more show up with the paint on the wrong side. Clearly, the Mint's process for aligning the coins prior to painting is not foolproof, and, you know, pretty much every design has one or two have appeared now with the paint on the wrong side. And just in the coin news for the week, that I had a bit of a hunt around last week for what was going on, and these are reaching the end of their lifespan. This is a English paper £20 note. They still have £20 and £50 notes available in paper in the UK, which, you know, when you think about it, Australia got rid of their last paper note, I guess it would be the $100 note, in the late 90s. So, you know, we've been more than 20 years with no paper notes, and England is still hanging on to them. In October next year, they will be these paper notes will be demonetised, and I believe that people in England can still deposit them in their bank. But interestingly enough, the bank doesn't have to take them. It's up to the bank's discretion about whether they want to do it or not. So English people are being encouraged to spend those or put them in the bank now. If in a year's time you do take it to your bank and they choose not to accept it, then you have to take it to the Bank of England in London. So, if you're up in the north of England, that's probably a long trip to put 50 quid in the bank. So if you are in the UK, please spend your paper £20 and £50 notes now. So let's take a quick look at the releases for next month. So the release schedule now, of course, is on the first Thursday of the month. It's been that way for a few months now from the Mint. And these are all due out on Thursday the 4th of November. The first two there are the annual proof and uncirculated set, the 6 coin sets. This year the theme is frontline workers. I guess that's rather timely given the nature of the world at the moment and the conclusion of the emergency workers $2 coin program with the ambulance coin this month. I can tell you there is a unique design coin in both sets, and I'm not really sure what else I can say. I think the Mint on their Facebook page has commented that the special coin is a $2 coin, so there's a special design $2 coin in both of those sets. That's about all I can say, really. I can't disclose anything else. If you're into $2 coins, you're going to want one. The prices appear to be the same. The prices haven't changed, and they will be available for order from us or ordering in shop from the 4th of November. Whether we have stock or not, we don't know at this moment in time. The Mint is starting a new 50-cent coloured train series to follow on from the other 3 train coins, which have been quite successful. Now, it's not the same series of the previous 3 coins. It's a new series, and interestingly, the first coin's available in 2 formats. You can buy the coin by itself in a card, or you can buy it in a collector folder, and the collector folder has spots for all of the subsequent releases, and I don't think I can tell you how many they are, but it is more than 1 and less than 10. So there is several of these that will be released in the next few months. It's a well-designed coin. I've seen the design. It's quite nice. The folder is quite nice, and given that it's trains, it's likely to be a rather popular release. And I'm always hesitant to sort of suggest that people buy Mint product for expecting the price to go up, but I think this one will be a popular one, and I'd be trying to grab hold of it. I'm not sure if the folder is going to be available for purchase after this first coin is released, so I guess if you are keen on collecting the whole set, then you want to grab the folder along with the first coin just in case the Mint doesn't make it available afterwards. So that's the releases. Not a bad set of releases. I guess the Mint and proof sets will be available all year next year, so you don't need to rush out and grab those, but certainly the train coins, I'm a bit keen on those to try and get your hands on one of those. Now, that's it for news, really. I was thinking about a topic of the day today, and I settled on something that Catherine and I had talked about for our next sequence of articles in the Australian Coin and Banknote magazine, and I don't have one here to show you, otherwise I'd show you one. Catherine and I write an article every month in the Australian Coin and Banknote magazine, which is the paper magazine that caters to coin collectors and banknote collectors here in Australia. So we write in there a monthly column called What Went Wrong, Error Coins That Escaped the Mint. We saw a number of our error coins out of our own collection for the first time in several years a couple of weeks ago, and we took some new pictures of them, thinking that we would write some articles around those. So what I've done today is cobbled together some of those images so that we can actually talk about a particular type of coin error. Before we get onto that, we'll just answer some questions, say some more hellos. So Karen got her Wiggles coin. That's good from Woolworths. Those Wiggles folders are still available for purchase here in the shop if you want one of those. G'day Michael, Greg, Brendan, Pat, Alan, Ash, Cody, and Patrick is asking if there's any news on the Coin Expo. No, Patrick, there's no news on that at all. Catherine is still intimately involved with the organisation of that expo, and if there is any news, mate, it will be here first. This is the first place that you'll see it. There's still, and I really hate using this word, there's still enough uncertainty around that it's pointless trying to do anything, and the Numismatic Society doesn't have much money, and they can't afford to throw away thousands of dollars on venue hire for something that could get cancelled. So, you know, that's why they can't do it at the moment. Right, error of the week. There we go. So, the error that I'm looking at this week is the double strike. And what's a double struck coin? A double struck coin is a coin that, funnily enough, is struck twice. Can a coin be struck more than twice? Yes, absolutely, it can be struck more than twice, but today we'll just focus on the double struck coin, which means that it is struck once correctly and then struck again somehow. And there's actually, I was thinking about this, there's 4 types of double struck coins that I can think of. I'm only going to look at 3 today. This first one here is a 1964 penny, and it's been struck twice in the collar. Now, what does that mean? It means that it was, those of you who don't know your coin terms, the collar is the collar die, and the collar die forms it's a round die like that, and it forms the reading around the coin edge if your coin is reeded. It might apply interrupted edge reading like on the $2 coin and the dollar coin. But primarily what it's there for is to constrain the coin from spreading out too far so you don't get a big pancake. All the coins are effectively the same size. Now, for whatever reason, sometimes the coin fails to eject from the collar die correctly and gets struck again. And if the coin, imagine if the coin is in the collar die and it fails to eject and then it rotates ever so slightly, and it gets struck again, you end up with what's called a rotated double strike, which is what we've got here. And it's obvious that this coin has been struck twice. The queen has 2 foreheads, she has 2 noses, she has 2 chins, and if you look in that picture of the date there on the back, you can clearly see a 1964 date under there. Now, of course, there is another way that a double struck in collar coin can occur, and that's if a coin that gets struck once and, you know, struck perfectly normally and it gets ejected from the press and ends up, perhaps it falls on the floor, perhaps it ends up in a coin hopper and the coin hopper gets spilled, whatever way it happens, or, you know, perhaps it gets stuck in a conveyor somewhere or a feeder chute or something like that, and it ends up getting picked up and put back in the blanks. Because someone's a bit lazy to pick it up and put it back where it belongs, so it gets put back in the blanks, and then it gets run through the press again, and of course it will be struck again. So that's the other way that a double strike in collar can occur. These are not often seen. This is probably one of the least commonly seen types of double strike error. The only one I would say that would be less commonly seen is what's called a flip over double strike, where it's the head side is struck on the tail side and vice versa. Great coin. This one of my favourite errors, this one, and I remember where I bought this coin from, even though it was more than 10 years ago, and I do like it a lot. So let's have a look at the next one. So this is a 1952 shilling, and 1952 was a good year for errors in shillings. We've seen a lot of them. Something clearly went wrong that year in the mint in Melbourne, and this is what I would call a transverse double strike. So the coin has been struck once and then it has only partially escaped, been partially ejected from the press and moved maybe about 4 millimeters, and then it has been struck again. So you clearly see there on the right hand side of the obverse 2 sets of lettering. On the left hand side of the reverse you can see 2 sets of lettering, and you can tell which strike was first because the second strike has obliterated it. So this is a really interesting sort of error, and the the greater that transition, the greater that movement where you can see the 2 strikes, I feel like the more impressive that type of error is. So this is a second type of double struck coin. You do see these a lot. You see them more commonly on pre-decimal silver coins, especially in 1952 on shillings and threepences. I have no idea why, but as I said, they must have had some problems that year. And if you don't have a double struck coin, this is the type that I'd be looking out for, because it's clearly obvious that something has gone wrong with this. Clearly obvious. You don't need to explain to someone what's happened. You can clearly see that it's been whacked twice. Now, the last one today is subtly different to this shilling. This is a... Sorry, my mouse isn't working. There we go. There we go. So this is a... double struck penny, and it has been struck once correctly and then failed to eject properly from the press, and just been struck again on the edge there. So it's just sort of nipped it on the edge there in the last sort of 7 or 8 millimeters of the coin before it ejected the press properly. But you can see on the detail image on the right hand side of that slide, the bottom one, you can see that it's clearly been struck properly. On one side you can see the FD there, but on the other side you can't see the reverse design there. You can just see sort of a smushed, technical term there, a smushed version of what was initially struck on the coin. And why is this subtly different to the last one? It's because this one was actually struck against a blank. So it's come into the press, it's been struck, and it's sort of moved out, but it hasn't escaped all the way, and then a blank has actually come in and overlapped against it, and the blank has been struck on one side and then struck against this coin. So this is a really interesting sort of error, because somewhere out there is the matching coin for this that this was struck against, and that other coin will have what's called an indent error on it, and that indent error will match up perfectly with the smushed reverse strike on this one. And that sort of mating pair, if you mated those together, that's called a saddle strike. Very, very unusual to see those coins mated like that. I've seen, I don't know, less than 5 mated Australian saddle strikes. Couple of pennies and maybe a 2-cent piece that and a 10-cent piece I think I might have seen as well. So very unusual to see both sides, and I have actually seen American mated saddle strikes graded by PCGS and slabbed in a 2-coin holder. So pretty spectacular to see that. So this is a subtly different form of double strike, and another one to look out for. You do see them come up reasonably often on eBay. So that's double strike errors for today. Interesting topic. Please do watch out for the articles coming up in Australian Coin and Banknote magazine, and they will get published on the Australian Coin Collecting blog at some point in the future once they've appeared in the magazine. Interesting type of error. If you don't have one, look out for one. They're not sort of hugely expensive. A few $100s gets you a really nice one in the pre-decimal era. If you want a decimal one, be prepared to pay up for it. They are much scarcer. Quality control improved a lot in the decimal era. And yeah, so double strike errors. That's it for today. It's lunchtime here and I'm hungry. Thank you everyone for watching. If you've got any topics that you'd like us to cover, please let me know what they are. A couple of final hellos. G'day Edward Blackwood and Aaron. Thanks for joining us. Glad you couldn't make it here till later. And you too, Andrew. As always, these videos will be up on YouTube to watch later, and we'll see you all next week. Please stay safe, be happy, enjoy collecting, and take care, everyone.